Hi guys, welcome to Big Loz Official. This week we're going to look at the upcoming Europe's Strongest Man and the World Log Lift Championships. So obviously I've had to pull out of this competition. Really tough decision for me originally. Obviously being a former European champion, I would have loved to try and defend the title again. But I've got to kind of think of the long term. I've got World's Strongest Man. This is my 10th World's Strongest Man that I'm going to this year. Just with the injuries and my age, I've kind of struggled the last kind of 6 months. Obviously got a newborn baby in the house, so originally that was quite tough just to deal with the training and sleepless nights. She's sleeping great now, which is brilliant, and I'm starting to kind of get back to my best, but it just means I've got to miss this show so that I can get to my 10th World's Strongest Man. That being said, it means I can do a nice prediction video for this up and coming competition, and I'm going up to watch. I'm really excited about it. Not just Europe's, but the log lift as well. It's the first time they've done the log lift World Championships up at Europe's in Leeds. We've done the deadlift before. Obviously Eddie smashing the 500 kilos a few years back was unbelievable. Now we're all after the log lift, and there's some hungry boys ready to challenge. So let's talk about the log lift first then. Obviously, when I started Strongman, the log lift record, I think, was held by Hugo Girard at 186 kilos. And since then, I think Raymond Manis took it to 190. And then since then, Zadrunas has had the world record up to the current record, which is 228 kilos, I believe. And they're hoping to go 230 or above in Leeds this weekend. Now there's a lot of good guys lifting this weekend. Originally when I was down to do Europe's, I was hoping to hit a PB of 200 kilos. I've hit 190 3 times in comp before. At one point I was a British record holder, but since then that's been smashed by Eddie and Graham Hicks. But I'm always trying to improve and focus on my own improvements, and my goal was to hit 200. Even hitting 200, I'd probably not even place in the top 8 in this competition. The standard is that high. So we're going to have a look at some of the competitors. I've jotted some little facts down just to remind me really, and I also I thought I'd go through the increments that they're going to use in the jumps, because this plays a factor into what I think people are capable of and what people will do. So the opening lift is going to be 175 kilos, which as an opening lift is huge anyway. Then they're going to jump to 190, 200, then they're going for 213, which will be a British record, then to 220, and then the final jump will be 230 kilos. Obviously if there's still people left in the competition by then they might go for more. But I can't see that many people doing 230. It is seriously a huge number, and there are people in this comp that can do it, so it's going to be exciting. So I've had a look at the competitors, and looking specifically just at the log, you've got Lalas, Kiliuszkowski, Belsak, Janasha, all guys that are capable of hitting at least 200 kilos. I think that jump from 200 to 213 is a very big jump, and we'll get rid of probably those 4 guys. I know, talking to Lalas, at his best maybe he's capable of that. Right now he says he's not his best. He always says that, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him in great form, and I'm going to talk more about Lalas for the whole European Championships. But for the log lift, I've got kind of Lalas, Kiliuszkowski, Mateusz Belsak and Janasha all hitting 200 kilos. The next big step up, and it is a big step up, 10 kilos on a log when you're going towards those maximum weights makes a big difference. I remember hitting 190, feeling good, cleaned it, felt stable, pressed it, it was an okay press. A few weeks later I tried to clean 200 kilos, got it set on my chest, and it just felt like 50 kilos more. It was just pressing down, and it was just so heavy. So at this level, little increments make a big difference. But still, we've got some amazing guys left in, and I think both the Americans, both Robert Oberst and Rob Kearney, are good for 213. Huge numbers, both big log pressers. Rob Kearney's a very explosive lifter. You see him kind of jerking the log, and he's the kind of guy who'll either make it look easy or it won't go at all. And I'm kind of predicting him to get the 213, but I think the 220 will be a little bit of a step too far. Same with Robert Oberst. He's a big, strong presser, but I think that 220 will be a bit of a step too far, and it'll be kind of, the really huge, thick-armed, thick-shouldered pressers that will be able to cope with, and huge, massive cores. You look at Zadrunas, he's so big in the core, and he's got his body weight back up to 180 kilos now, so he's really, really keen to do well at this competition. The other guy that I think will do 213 is just at the mountain, Thor. He is unbelievable right now. His form right now is incredible. Watching him at the Arnolds, he was just unbelievable. Every single event, he was strong. He's so hungry this year. I think after the disappointment of not winning Worlds for him last year, he's just coming like a bull and wants to win everything. I can't see him winning the log. I think he'll be smart, score good points. 213 will be big points, because you're only going to have one or two guys left in the whole show that are possibly going to beat that. And I think he'll be happy to save his energy for the rest of the competition. Then you get to the huge pressers. Now, Graham Hicks has had a great year so far. He's looked phenomenal in his training, and I've been talking to Graham. He's looking really strong. I can see Hicksy hitting 220 definitely. A few weeks ago he wasn't so sure, but his confidence just keeps growing. He's looking strong, and I think he's going to hit some big numbers. 230 maybe a little bit of a step too far, but 220, I've got Graham and Krzysztof Radziakowski for 220. Krzysztof hasn't been kind of competing so much in the last few years. A few years back, he was an unbelievable presser. Good all-round strongman, but he's a bit like me. He's suffered with a number of injuries, but he's looked really, really strong in his training. And I think, he's probably focusing more on the log than he is on the whole competition. And I'd love to see him hit a big 220 log. He's capable of it, and I think he's going to be close. Can you hear that background noise? So now, to the big two. There's a lot of talk between the battle between kind of Zadrunas, who's held this record now for I think about 14-15 years, and obviously Eddie Hall, who just proves people time and time again that he's capable of doing whatever he puts his mind to. Both of these guys, I would not question their ability to hit 230 kilos. Zadrunas, I've been talking to. I've been watching his training. He's said to me he's hit PBs in the gym, and when Zadrunas talks about hitting something, it's not like some people. You believe, he's telling the truth, and he's put a huge amount of body weight back on. He's back up to 180 kilos. Obviously, people remember him losing weight last year, suffering with injuries. His confidence has come back with a vengeance, and he is so focused on holding on to this record. And I'm looking forward to the battle between these two, because Eddie's focused, it's the last thing he wants to achieve, and obviously we've seen what he's capable of in the past. He's put up some big training videos, seated pressing. I can't really compare seated pressing to doing the log. There's a lot of good bodybuilders out there that can do big numbers seated when they've got the back support and they'll press big numbers. It's completely different. But obviously Eddie's a great strongman as well, so it's not like comparing him to a bodybuilder. He's obviously hurt his ankle, so he's pulled out of the Europes. He said it's not going to affect him on the log. He's the kind of guy that will kind of, he's going to strap it up and come with 100% focus to break that record. He'll either go for the record or nothing. I think, he's not coming to come second. He'll go balls to the wall. I think he'll miss some of the lifts before that to try and save energy and go for the win. And Zadrunas, he just wins at log time and time again. The man is just incredible. Technically, he's superb. His feet stay perfectly planted on the floor. His core is so strong. His shoulders and triceps are so strong. And that's why he's had the log record for as long as he has. He just doesn't have a weakness when it comes to log pressing. Presses metal logs, wooden logs, log for reps, log for medleys, log for max. He constantly wins. And how can you bet against someone that backs it up that many times? For me, I'm always like, what have people done in competition? That's kind of where you see when they're really good. What people do in the gym is, you don't know exactly the conditions they're lifting in. When it's everyone under the same conditions, all lifting the same log, and the guy wins and wins and wins, you have to give him credit. And I think it's going to be a great battle, but I'm going to put my nose out, and I'm going to predict Zydrunas to come out on top. I think both of them are capable of 230. We may see the lift go beyond that, so it'll be awesome to watch. I'm excited about it. It's crazy to think, you know, a 200 kilo log was what I was hoping to hit, but that might not even get you in the top 8, top 10. It's just, the standard is incredible. There's one guy I haven't mentioned yet, and it's someone I think could really, you know, upset a lot of people. Maybe, you know, with what we've seen him do in the gym and in training, he's hit some huge numbers. The only reason I haven't kind of slot him in where I've kind of put everyone else where I think they'll come, because I've competed with them many times and I've seen what they're capable of. I haven't put Iron Bibi anywhere yet because I don't know what he's capable of on a log for max. I've seen the training videos. I'm going to put him anywhere between 213 and 230. The guy is hugely strong, amazing potential. He's got massive, massive arms and legs, huge, strong core. He's got what it takes to lift a huge log. And he may even push Zydrunas and Eddie. I think their experience will probably help them prevail over Iron Bibi, but you know, he could be upsetting the guys like Hicksy and Rads, and the Americans, the Robs and Thor on the log. You know, he's going to hit something big. He's coming over just for the log. He's focused and training it hard, and I'm kind of excited to see what he can do, because these new guys just keep getting better. He's an exciting new prospect, and it's going to be interesting to see what he can do. And with the focus just being on the log, you know, it's much harder to train for 6 events than it is just for one event. If you kind of really focus just on one event, you can make your training very specific and you can do some impressive things. So it's going to be good, and I'm very, very excited about watching it. But those are my predictions. I'm sure I've upset a few guys. That's just, you know, the way it is in Strongman. We all have our opinions, and you know, people tell me what they think I'm capable of, and the best thing to do is ignore what everyone else thinks. It's what you think that counts. But it's kind of fun sitting down, predicting what we think will happen, and I'm going to sit back and enjoy watching it on the day, and I'll be happy to hold my hands up and say I was wrong. But those are my predictions. I hope you enjoyed it. Let us know who you think is going to win. Comment below, like and subscribe, and share the channel, please, because it massively helps guys. It's kind of, you know, really getting the sport bigger. Helps me, and it helps me kind of put more content out there for you guys. But if you let me know who you think will win and what you think they'll lift, if you comment below, we'll see who's right afterwards. I might do another video next week with a little bit of a wrap up of how the log lift goes. So thanks again, and we'll see you soon.